It's that time of the year, and by that I mean the end of the previous year going into the next year, where I count down the worst songs of 2020. This list has been the hardest yet. One, because I think pop music as a whole was a lot better in 2020 than in the last few years. Look no further than The Weeknd's banger Blinding Lights. And two, because I've not really had to listen to a lot of pop radio this year, with lockdown being a big reason for that, and as much as I may deny, the placements are partially dictated by how overplayed the songs are. So while I already had a lot of the list in mind, I asked my fans in my community tab what they thought was the worst song, because a strong man can admit defeat. Rules are one song per artist besides features, and if a song was released next year or even the year before but became a hit mainly this year, it's still eligible, because I had to change things a bit after placing the 2017 song Truth Hurts on last year's list. And remember that this list is just my opinion, and that this list is not the objectively worst songs of 2020, because that's not possible and because that would suck. These are just the ones that I have some pretty unfavourable thoughts towards. Anyway, before the list, I have a few honourable mentions to sink my teeth into.
But I don't want no lover. I just wanna make the moolah la. Yeah, the moolah la.
The first song covered in this list is the first so-called TikTok anthem, so we're off to a great start here. And it's this irritating Brit rap song. I originally had it on the main list, but then discovered a couple of songs which are bad enough to bump this down, but we've still got to dissect this, right? Another braggadocious song which repeats the phrase "moolah la" about 1,572 times, and apparently moolah la means money. Also, no offence, but the guy has an extremely punchable face.
Been through the sand in a Jeep, all because of what I did on beats, baby. Life sweet.
The weird sound effects in the intro sound so badly sampled, you can hear a slight noise at the beginning. It's almost like an amateur learning how to use GarageBand. These are their arpeggios on by default, son. Yeah, we're gonna pretend that doesn't exist. Not to mention they're annoying and high-pitched, and Drake sounds like he's doing a bad impression of The Weeknd, or a French person trying to rap in an American accent, as this rather humorous comment put it. I was actually going to put this on the main list, but it's redeemed by that nice guitar break. Sure, it's more processed than dog food, but doesn't bother me. Yeah, that's clearly Time to Pretend by MGMT. You didn't think we noticed, did you? Good try, though. Oh yeah, and James Arthur proves to go on a downward spiral by collabing with Sigala, but then again, that's 2020 in a nutshell. This pick I can see being controversial as it's not egregiously bad like pretty much everything else on this list, but it's such a lazy song coming from f***ing Foo Fighters. Maybe I have no right to write the song off as a dud given how much I've whinged in the past about a lot of Foo Fighters songs sounding the same, but if stylistic changes mean repeating the word shame for about 75% of the song, I'll stick to familiar territory. Also, Foo Fighters has 3 guitarists. This barely sounds like it has 1, and the drums are basically replaced with a drum loop.
Ooh, but there's some real drums playing over the drum loop.
Hey, I'm not saying they aren't, but when bands bring in programmed drums, they overwhelm the track so much it makes the drummer essentially redundant.
I'm gonna puke, cause my taxes are due. Do my password begin with a 1 or a 2?
AJR are a band that aren't really a thing in the UK, and after searching up what other people hated this year and checking this song out, I'm glad. This song's full of pitch-shifted and auto-tuned vocals, fake horns, and a piano with this awful pitch bend sound, which sound like me experimenting with a sampler function during music technology class in college. It doesn't work, and neither does this obnoxious song. Anyway, those songs weren't quite bad enough to make the top 10, so what can possibly be worse? Let's go.
Damn, it's my birthday. Everybody love me, and I ain't thinking about you.
Starting off the main list is Birthday by Anne-Marie. I don't really know what to say about this that I haven't said about other Anne-Marie songs in previous lists. This one's a blippy piece of bubblegum buggery that's about getting over her ex on her birthday. Yeah, guys, don't expect a ton of originality here. After all, nothing says I ain't thinking about you to your ex like, I don't know, writing a song about him. I'm sure we've been over this before, but unfortunately some people just don't learn.
You always in the mood, fuck around like I'm brand new. I ain't tryna tell you what to do, but try to play.
They say you don't judge a book by its cover, but I didn't follow that advice for this song, and I don't regret it. Mood immediately struck me as a song aimed at the whole big mood meme, and given it gained popularity on your favourite app and mine, TikTok, it seemed like a fairly obvious link to make. However, this song is actually about a toxic relationship, so it wasn't quite as bad as I thought it'd be, the song is still pretty unenjoyable. Where it really gets bad is the chorus with a horrible grating auto-tune. We play games a lot to avoid the depression. I'm so over this summer anthem thing too, as it seems like for a period of at least 5 months, artists are grinding to make the #1 summer banger, and most of them are just try hard and, to be honest, shit.
For a party song about drinks and drugs, all the singing songs.
Right, before we get on to this entry, later on the day that I recorded this video, it revealed that Jessie Nelson had in fact left the group. You'd expect me to take the piss out of this, especially if you'd watch any of my old videos. I'm not. Apparently it's a mental health reason, and I have a lot of respect for her for leaving for that reason, because mental health always comes first. She said it was to do with the pressures of being in a really popular girl group, and I actually think this song I'm about to talk about kind of explains that in a way. Little Mix kind of feel like an easy target because I dislike them so much. That almost wasn't the case this year, as their big singles weren't actually all that bad. Breakup Song is the best thing they've done in years, and the rest are fine. Well, not so much Sweet Melody, but as soon as I saw the title of the chosen song, I was on it like a drunken frat boy on a prostitute. I don't know if it's just me who hates it when artists use song titles that make them seem like a genre they're not, or in this case the other way round. And yes, I'm aware that the lyric is, "This ain't another pop song about falling in love," but I'm pretty sure that in itself contradicts about half their songs anyway. Also, "I Don't Do What Simon Says" is probably the worst pun I've heard this year, not from Cardi B, as well as one of the pettiest jabs. Nothing says "I don't give a f*** like taking a shot at someone who you already dealt with 2 years ago, or should I say, I don't give a what, considering they're still doing that self-censorship bollocks that grinds my gears. Also, can we talk about how horrible the auto-tune is on Jessie's verse? Actually pretty insulting considering vocals are Little Mix's strong point. Next!
They say you ain't wifey type, but I don't care, I want you. She like to do drugs too. She in love with...
And now we got to talk about this god-awful emo rap song, which is one of the most contrived genres I've ever heard. It's basically standard trap, but with some kind of emotive sound or theme. And by emotive, I mean fake deep, because this song f***ing sucks. Drony, whiny lyrics that make a cliched reference to Cyndi Lauper and go on about a girl who loves drugs and guns. And yet people wonder why this genre is stereotyped to death. Also, the emotive sound I mentioned is this piano, which fits them so poorly it's legitimately laughable. But hey, this song was pretty much made for TikTok and various other social media. It's even got Instagram screenshots in the video, for f***'s sake. Oh well, at least it's short, but the song's so terrible it feels like it runs at the pace that old people shag.
Bestie's a dick sucker, a big double. Assalamu alaikum, you big hater. You nothing but a hater.
So far in this list, we've had to deal with a few artists from previous years I knew would end up on future lists. Anne-Marie I expected to be putting on here again. Little Mix I expected to be putting on here again. 6ix9ine I never thought I would even have to talk about again given his prison sentence. But God's lack of existence was proven as the Skittle was released from prison due to COVID being dangerous for his asthma condition. So he can torture us with his lack of talent. Unless you count bragging about my crimes as a talent. It actually hurts me that I still have to talk about this guy. But I couldn't leave him off the list in fear of the comment section asking why I didn't include him, so I had to suffer through Goober. A few people said I should have put Trolls with Nicki Minaj in, which makes sense given that sounded like a match made in hell, but at least he's not yelling the entire time like he is in this one. Well, except for that one part where he starts rapping in Spanish, along with lyrics like "slide over, do the cha-cha." Well, f*** you 6ix9ine for tainting my childhood with the primary school discos. Also, and I know this sounds nitpicky, but he straight up referenced the coronavirus, which I really hope because it instantly dates the song.
Up all night, fuck me to the daylight. 30 for 35.
Hey, I'm just saying, if Ariana Grande didn't release music like she was on amphetamine, I wouldn't have to put her on these lists so much. Yeah, this is her 3rd consecutive year on one of these lists. Although I'd call it a step above Thank You Next, which I thought was one of the most annoying things ever placed upon my ears, and 7 Rings, which we all know is highly inferior to the Sonic and the Secret Rings theme song, 7 Rings in Hand. So, this song. 34 plus 35, do you get it? It equals 69. Now that's a lazy pun if I've ever heard one. That title alone just assures you you'll be suffering through 3 minutes of Ariana's annoying breathy vocals, unflattering lyrics like "you drink it just like water, you say it tastes like candy," a worn out reference to Netflix and chill, And as if her rapping in Seven Rings wasn't enough, she throws in a faux rap verse in this because every damn thing needs that hip hop flavour, right? At least we have a somewhat humorous outro. I really appreciate the self-awareness. I don't think it's going to help a whole lot though. You know, sometimes I've wondered if hip-hop and EDM really go together. Mate, my mind is well and truly made up now. Pitch-shifting rap vocals, if you can even call them that, is one of those brain-dead ideas I've heard in a long time, and when paired up with this mundane house beat, it's twice the torture. It's another wannabe summer anthem that pleases the masses quite easily, not that hard to achieve, mind you, and is yet another to capitalise on the flex trend, which I really wish wasn't still going on. I like to think this song's only redeeming quality is the pure hilarity of hearing the N-word pitch shifted, but then I'm reminded of how much I f***ing despise high-pitch shifted vocals, and how much I despise that's still a thing cropping up in music. Sorry, Iman Beck, or however you pronounce your name, but this is abysmal.
Yeah, you fucking with some wet ass pussy. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet ass pussy.
Some might say I'm biased for putting Cardi B on the list for the third year in a row, but hey, I'm just saying, if she didn't make such god-awful music, I wouldn't have to do this. This one may be a storm in a teacup, because bafflingly, this goddamn thing, is being called a female empowerment anthem. Yeah, female empowerment comes from the woman who drugged and robbed men. Anyway, as for the song itself, this somehow took the world by storm. But hey, critical success does not equal commercial success, right? I have no words. So, WAP. Featuring some annoying voice go, there's some whores in this house throughout the whole song. Here's a few Hall of Shame worthy lyrics. Put this pussy right in your face, swipe your nose like a credit card. I want you to park that Big Mac truck right in this little garage. I let him taste it, now he diabetic. Sheesh, I think I have to stop there. Reading this song's lyrics is actually self-destructive with the amount of brain cells it's killing. Maybe I sound like a boomer, but it's tragic this hideous and self-absorbed song is one of the biggest songs of this year. This overtly sexual song is the definition of too much information, although I will say it is hilarious that someone had to go and make a clean version of the song for the official video. I mean, Megan Thee Stallion can kind of go, despite the silly name. In fact, it's kind of amusing when her verse drops, since it immediately becomes clear she is a whole skill level above Cardi, which isn't saying a lot considering Cardi has no skill. But Megan can't save this piece of piss, which is, let's not forget, being hailed as a female empowerment song. It sucks. Oh well. At least Biffy Clyro made a hilarious cover of it.
Wear disguise, I want you to park that big biff truck right in my tiny wee garage, make me dream.
I'ma show you how to get it. It go right foot up, left foot slide, left foot up, right foot slide.
This song that just about missed the top spot of this list goes to this wank saying that's clearly out there just to pander to the TikTok market. And it's conclusive proof Drizzy will do anything to garner a hit. It's basically a dance routine which was described as, no joke, the modern day cha-cha slide. Jesus Christ, what's with all these guys ruining my childhood? But that's not the comparison that really makes me sick. It's the lyric, I can dance like Michael Jackson. No, you f***ing can't. We all saw the Hotline Bling video. You are talking out of your batty crack. Such disrespect. And I know people are going to argue that
Michael Jackson was a paedophile and he shouldn't be on it.
well, Facebook is the other direction, so go argue about it there. Or maybe TikTok to enjoy this trash fire that only got as much success as it did because it's by Drake. God, will TikTok please fade out?
Yeah, you got the yummy, yum, the yummy, yum, the yummy, yummy. Yeah, you got the.
You know, usually I have to wait quite late into the year to find a song I hate enough to consider the worst. Or wait until I'm doing research for these lists so I can actively find the absolute zero. Yeah, not this year. Justin Bieber basically kickstarted the storm that was 2020 by immediately releasing the worst song of the year, and that's not something I expect from him, honestly, given I don't hate him, and his last album did have some songs that I still like. But 2020 became his worst year yet, with his discography being pretty much complete dog shit.
You should have put Stuck With You with Ariana Grande on.
No.
You should have picked Monster with Shawn Mendes.
No.
You should have picked Intentions with Quavo.
I refuse to believe that anything is worse than Yummy. Well, the Florida Georgia Line remix of Yummy is worse than Yummy. And it's so bad it actually encouraged me to drop the no remixes rule from previous lists. Florida Georgia Line, for those who are not aware, are a really awful American bro country duo who I'm glad aren't big overseas. Some say that the biggest privilege of being British is free healthcare. I say that the biggest privilege is that country music isn't big over here because all in all, that genre. So you take this trap-infected, drony, repetitive, asinine, lazy pile of horse shit, this Grammy-nominated song, and then add a remix with a phony country twang. Remember how people complained that country and hip-hop don't mix when Old Town Road dominated the charts last year? Yeah, apparently these guys didn't get the memo. And can I just point out that Justin Bieber wrote this song as a dedication to his wife? I say wrote, he wrote it with like 5 other people. I'm just going to say that if I was Hailey Bieber, which just made me a little nauseous to say, considering her taste in men, then I'd be ashamed. Even more ashamed than Bieber should be for encouraging his fans to manipulate streaming platforms to get it to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. And then he got cock-blocked by Roddy Ricch. I mean, I have no right to laugh, given that I had to re-listen to this song to make this list and give it a stream in the process. But it's just an embarrassment, and it's clear that Bieber is half-arsing it at this point. So a fairly easy #1 spot for the Biebs. Thanks for watching this list. I'm sorry if I come across as super opinionated, but that's kind of always been the case in lists like these, and at the end of the day, it's just my personal opinion. My yearly worst songs list are in fact my favourite videos to make, and it's pretty much all I'm focused on in the entire month of December besides Christmas and New Year. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you're new, and goodbye.